Every word in the Torah matters. And Yah showed me something in Genesis. Genesis 3:1. Now the serpent was more subtle than any beast of the field which Yah Elohim had made. And he said unto the woman, Yea, hath Elohim said, Ye shall not eat of every tree of the garden. So this starts off as Yah Elohim made the serpent, but then the serpent says, hath Elohim said, not hath Yah said. And the woman answers, Genesis 3, verses 2 through 3. And the woman said unto the serpent, We may eat of the fruit of the trees of the garden, but of the fruit of the tree which is in the midst of the garden, Elohim hath said, Ye shall not eat of it, neither shall ye touch it, lest ye die. So the woman doesn't say Yah Elohim said, she also responds like the serpent that Elohim said. That distinction matters. So let's continue. Genesis 3, verse 6. And when the woman saw that the tree was good for food, and that it was pleasant to the eyes, and a tree to be desired to make one wise, she took of the fruit thereof and did eat, and gave also unto her husband with her, and he did eat. So did you catch that? Her husband was with her. She didn't have to go get him or find him somewhere else later. He was with her, and he ate, and Eve ate, and they sinned together. Genesis 3, verse 7. And the eyes of both of them were opened, and they knew that they were naked. Wait, let's stop right there. The eyes of both of them were opened. It didn't say that Yah opened them. It didn't say that the serpent opened them. And when their eyes were opened, the first thing that they see is not Yah. It's not the spirit realm. It's not angels. It's not hidden mysteries. No. But in the Old Testament, there are people that Yah opens their eyes. Yah opened Hagar's eyes and she saw a well. Yah opened Balaam's eyes and he saw the messenger standing in the way. Elisha prayed and Yah opened his servant's eyes to see the heavenly army. The well was already there. The messenger was already there. The heavenly host was already there. Yah opens their eyes to see the spirit realm and what's already present. But when Adam and Eve disobey and eat from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, eating from the tree does something to their sight. And then it makes them know that they were naked. Then comes fear. Then comes hiding. Genesis 3, verses 8 through 10. And they heard the voice of Yah Elohim walking in the garden in the cool of the day. And Adam and his wife hid themselves from the presence of Yah Elohim amongst the trees of the garden. And Yah Elohim called unto Adam and said unto him, Where art thou? And he said, I heard thy voice in the garden, and I was afraid, because I was naked, and I hid myself. So notice something important. Adam still hears Yah. His hearing is not gone. He recognizes Yah's voice and he answers Yah, but instead of running towards him, he hides. So eating from that tree changed something. Not the ability to hear, but the response. I heard your voice and I was afraid. Genesis 3, verses 12 through 13. And the man said, The woman whom thou gavest to be with me, she gave me of the tree, and I did eat. And Yah Elohim said unto the woman, What is this that thou hast done? And the woman said, The serpent beguiled me, and I did eat. So Adam blames the woman blames the serpent, yet both admit, I did eat. Then Yah speaks to the serpent. Genesis 3, verse 14. And Yah Elohim said unto the serpent, Because thou hast done this, thou art cursed above all cattle, and above every beast of the field. Upon thy belly shalt thou go, and dust shalt thou eat all the days of thy life. So Yah gives the serpent a punishment, and it's dust. Remember that, because Yah says to Adam in Genesis 3, verse 19, For dust thou art, and unto dust shalt thou return. So Adam comes from dust, and Adam returns to dust, and the serpent eats dust. The same word appears in both judgments. Genesis 3, verse 22. And Yah Elohim said, Behold, the man has become as one of us, to know good and evil. So the serpent promised Adam and Eve that if they ate from the tree, their eyes would be opened. But opened to what? And closed to what? All of a sudden, Adam and Eve are afraid of Yah and hide themselves. So that made me think about Moses. When Yah came down upon Sinai, the people were afraid. Exodus 20, verse 18 through 19. And all the people saw the thunderings and the lightnings and the noise of the trumpet and the mountains smoking. And when the people saw it, they removed and stood afar off. And they said unto Moses, Speak thou with us, and we will hear. But let not Elohim speak with us, lest we die. The people stood far away, but Moses did something different. Exodus 20, verse 21. And the people stood afar off, and Moses drew near unto the thick darkness where Elohim was. Adam heard Yah and hid. Israel heard Yah and stood afar off. But Moses heard Yah and drew near. So now let's go back to the garden where Adam and Eve are kicked out. Genesis 3, verse 24. So he drove out the man, and he placed at the east of the garden cherubims and a flaming sword, which turned every way to keep the way of the tree of life. So the tree of life wasn't destroyed, but the way to it was guarded with a flaming sword. Now listen carefully to what Jeremiah says. Jeremiah 6, verse 16. Thus saith Yah, Stand ye in the ways, and see, and ask for the old paths, where is the good way, and walk therein, and ye shall find rest for your souls. Stand in the ways and see. The way in Genesis was guarded, and Jeremiah tells us to stand in the ways and see. Could that be why David prayed in Psalm 119, verse 18? Open thou mine eyes, that I may behold wondrous things out of thy Torah. Open my eyes. Not because the way is gone, not because Yah has hid himself, but because perhaps we need Yah to help us gain our spiritual sight again. Did eating from the tree of the knowledge of good and evil do something to our hearing and something to our sight, making us focus on ourselves and our nakedness versus seeing and hearing from Yah in the spirit realm? The way back to the Garden of Eden with the tree of life, it's now guarded. And perhaps the prayer of the remnant should be, Yah, open our eyes and open our ears. Let us see. Let us see the old paths. Let us see the good way. Let us see the way to life. Isaiah 6, verses 9 through 10. And he said, Go and tell this people, Hear ye indeed, but understand not. And see ye indeed, but perceive not. Make the heart of this people fat, and make their ears heavy, and shut their eyes, lest they see with their eyes, and hear with their ears, and understand with their heart, and convert, and be healed. Deuteronomy 29, verse 4. Yet Yah hath not given you an heart to perceive, and eyes to see, and ears to hear, unto this day.